Hi all, Martyn at Flicking Feathers again today, and I'm tying a bunny bug. A fairly old school pike fly, but they're still well worth tying up and having in your box nowadays. They catch fish and they're a good choice when the bigger flies are getting refusals. Well worth having, to be honest. As always, I'll put a materials list in the description along with a link to the Patreon page. If you fancy supporting the channel, that's all appreciated. Right, so I've got my hook and my vise. This is a size 3/0 Partridge Universal Predator X, right, heavy wire hook, no too big, right, 3/0, 4/0, plenty for these. Think of this as your small pike fly, right? It's going to be 4.5, 5 inches long, so like 10 to 12, 13 centimetres is what you're probably got to aim for with this. If you go too much bigger, they do become very heavy. I'm starting some 210 denier UTC white for this colour scheme. I'm just got to wipe the shank with some super glue and tie down to the bend of the hook. I'm going to get my flash. I'm using just polar flash, it's silver pearl blend. You use whatever you like. Use a sort of standard size flash though, don't go Magnum. The finer flash works better with these. I'm going to just get my bunch, fold it in half, trim it, give that a wee taper, and what I'm looking for here, I want like 2 hook lengths of flash material. This one looks better for the tail, this end. So there's, say, just over a hook length there. That's going to be come out the tail. Get that tied in, and you can omit the flash if you really want to, but I prefer to get the flash in when I'm tying it, and then if I feel I need to, I can cut it off when I'm fishing. Give yourself the option. So I'm just tying this down, making a nice bed of thread, and I'm going to stop at like, once I've covered like 1/3 of the shank, so we've got 1/3 here and 2/3 in front. I'm going to get a length of 20-pound hard nylon, or whatever you prefer. You could use fluorocarbon or any kind of stiffish mono. It's got to be my fouling loop. So first of all, so it can never pull out, I'm going to tie it short end first and the long end pointing forward. Take like 3 tight wraps, fold that back, and then just tie them down. Make sure it's right on top. You can take a wrap under that flash as well, just to sort of stick it up slightly, and then get your rabbit. I don't know if this is long enough, we'll just check. A bit short. And I'm using here the 1/4 inch cut, like the Texas cut rabbit. Length, I want it coming, I'm just coming back to the back edge of the stem of the vise here. I'll just slide that a wee bit so you can see, just to here. I know that's going to give me like 12.5 centimetre fly. So I'll have a wee look, and I'm just going to sort of mark with my finger where the nylon's curving up, and drop my dubbing needle, and take your needle and just put a hole right in the middle where you marked it. and then push that nylon up through the hole. Pull that down. Now you can sort of ignore the nylon for the time being and set your length of the rabbit. I like that. I'm going to come across. Just make a gap and just tie it in. Then I'll come in, trim that away. And tidy this up. I much prefer to tie it this way. I think you get a stronger fly if you separate the tail from the hide and the body properly. So get that nicely tied in, nice and tight. Then I'm going to take my monofilament and make sure you don't bend the rabbit fur or bend the hide with this, and get it locked in. And the same thing again, just don't let go of that tag, fold it back, tie it in. So it's well secured, right? It's never going to be able to pull out, even if a fish grabs at the tail. You know, the fouling loop, no, that's got to hold it it's got to help hold the tail in, and also because the fouling loop's like that, it's not going to snag out if something catches it. Got to take my rabbit, same zonker, right? I don't use crosscuts because crosscut lies flat. And I much prefer it to sort of puff straight out. It gives you more movement. So I'm going to tie this in, hide up, right, and that will make it stand up when you wind the hair, and then get this covered up. Bring the thread forward to the 2/3 point, which is where I'm going to roughly where I'm going to stop my white. And then I'm going to put a wee bit of super glue just at the back here. You don't need it anywhere else. Just getting it at the back, that will stick that hide down initially, and it will give you a very durable fly. I'm just going to wind this until I meet the flash, right? And then I'm going to take some, say about a 1/6, right? If you think about it in thirds, you want a 1/6 on each side, right? So there's going to be 3 bunches pulled back or so. I mean, up to yourself really, but that's how I split it up. Just pull it back on the other side and get a wrap in. And I mean, just let it sit how it wants to sit. Next wrap, same again. And you don't need to worry about the flash pulling out or anything. I mean, it's well secured. You know, it's only the rabbit that's like holding it in position here, but it's only to make it sort of stick back. It's not really, you're not really securing it. The thread wraps and the glue hold it, and it never pulls out. Get a nice tighten. Again, just make sure everything's in. Fold that back. When I get to my tie off point, make sure it's really tight. Pull it, flex the hook, make sure this isn't sliding or twisting. Then come across underneath. tie it in. And then just trim that away. I mean, you can tie it in a different colour scheme. You could go all white if you want, but redhead's quite an effective colour. And I'm tying these for a friend actually, and this is what he's asked me for. And I'm just going to take all this flash from the body, just sort of hold it up, and I'm just going to sort of come in and roughly cut it. And then that flash is just sort of through the body there, which is something that we never used to do. You know, you just tie it with rabbit, and they worked quite well. But this is a nice wee touch. I do it a lot I used to do it a lot when I fished. I fished a lot of small zonkers and bunny bugs for sea bass here. I've not been fishing them as much recently, but I always used to do this as well, and it was quite effective. Just got to put the red head in this, and it's also got to be zonker, same 1/4 inch strip. You can put like a body tubing head, you can put a deer hair head, a wool head, dumbbells. You know, it's a very versatile fly for that respect. Just get this tightened in, tied in nice and secure, and make a smooth ramp. Again, you're wanting the fly to be tied down well and last well, so the smooth ramp means that the hide will lie on it nicely. And then a wee bit of glue to stick the leather. You know, you don't need the leather to move when it's wrapped, so just get this in. Slightly overlapping turns. We'll come right up to the eye. Get these nice and tight. I make my last turn basically. I sort of come over on top of the previous turn and catch this in the bottom. I'm not letting go of the bobbin, a very tight thread wrap, then a couple of turns in front, turn under, turn in front, or 2, flip it, oops, tighten up my vice a wee bit, flip that over, trim it nice and close, and tie it off. And you can tie back build your head. And just moisten it. Hit finish. And your fly's basically done. If you want it to be, the last thing I'm going to do is just finish the head with a bit of fluorescent red floss. Again, probably doesn't make much difference, but I like the touch. Now you can add eyes, you can leave it, you can do what you like really. We used to often tie them with quite big thread heads and paint the eyes on. But again, you can just tie the back end and put in you want in the front. You could use a dubbing head and attach eyes more easily. Just whip finish this. That's fine. moisten this again. You don't want that rabbit wafting around here. Super glue first. Don't be too heavy handed with it either, just a wee coat to let it soak in. And if you put on too much, it will go white, and if you have any excess, take it away with your needle. And then to protect this, just coming in with my normal head cement. A good thick coating. And that gives you a nice hard, very tough head actually, the gluing and the cement. Clean the eye. Use a clean needle. There you go, that's your bunny bug. A simple fly, certainly catches plenty of fish. Well worth having a couple of these in your box. So, I hope that was useful, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Tight lines guys, bye!